Oh my goodness. I'll have to say joining the Next League program was the best decision I made. I wasn't sure what I was doing when I joined, if I was making the right decision, but today I can say fully confidently that it was the right position. We started with watching a video about 3 important things in life where we had to write out our goals. Then we went into developing our expertise. I thought that was very intense. And I think it was after my RFE that I could understand why that came up. And then meeting other EB1A candidates who had gotten their green cards and the processes they made. I think every one of them was a knowledge base for me. It was impactful, and I would say with all the materials I've gotten, with all the guidance from you, it's been a very good journey. I would say that this is not an easy process. You need to take it step by step. Ensure that you meet all the criteria, at least 3 of the 10 criteria. Make sure you show your impact within the states. Ensure that you show your genuine intent to contribute to the. So I think please go through the process. It's not something you can get at the snap of your finger.
Hi, Fola. Congratulations and welcome to United States, becoming U.S. lawful permanent resident.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Fola, I mean, we have been knowing each other for, I think, a couple of months. You have been in the Next League program, and tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Fola Shade Orimogunje. I purposely use Fola because my name is a mouthful. But yes, I'm a data analytics expert. I've been in the States for 5 years, since 2017. That's like 6 years now. So cumulatively, I have like 20 years experience, spanning from marketing into data analytics, but fully as a data specialist analyst. It's been over 4 years. It's gone as I've worked in consulting industry, energy industry, and the health sector. So that is my background. Basically, I'm majorly into data analytics, anything involving data, trying to bring insights that will help any business decisions. That's what I'm basically into.
Now, what's your qualifications?
Oh, I'm a master's degree holder. I went to the University of Bridgeport. I did analytics and systems. It gives me specialty into data analytics and project management. That's also another part I need to talk about, because that there's a project management aspect of me in doing data.
Wonderful. And what has been your experience in the Next League program so far?
It's been wonderful. I'll have to say, with the first few months I came in, it was intense, which I was warned about. But it's been great because I learned a whole lot of things. I mean, getting to know about the AAO, reading AAO cases to be able to build up my case, and getting to meet up some ex-EB1A candidates. It was also great. I've had to meet, I remember meeting, names are going off my head right now, but I remember meeting Dr. Salahuddin, who helped with research, because that was one area I actually wanted to get to know about, because I wondered how people got into getting scholarly papers, having citations and things like that. I didn't have information about those, but I got it from her. So it's been great. I got a lot of information, and it helped position me so well to work on my EB1A petition.
Wonderful. And you also, got approved for NIW. What was your strategy for doing this actually?
Okay, so the strategy for doing this was I think I need to now bring in why I came into the next league. After when I filed for NIW, I was I was going to be out of status because I had a few months more on my STEM OPT. I didn't want to be out of status, but I filed and I knew something was actually wrong with my petition, but I didn't have a full scope of what was wrong. But when I saw your adverts to be a part of the next league, I knew I needed to go beyond where I was right now. And so joining the next league, having all the information from you, I got the details to position myself as an EB1A candidate using 3 out of 10 parameters, the criteria given by the USCIS, looking at the totality of all the criteria and making sure that I fulfill all of them. And then looking at my worthiness as an individual or as an expert in USA, which will be what's it called, of importance to and benefit to the United States. So those were the things I did. I used the criteria from the EB1A metrics and positioned myself. But I also had to go using the NIW criteria because I had an RFE from my NIW, and it was something I almost jettisoned, but by the time I got your was in our help and also got to meet Mohammed, we looked at it and were able to come up with a strategy to using the EB1A criteria, the 3 out of 10, the worthiness of my impact to the USA, and the NIW criteria, the 3 prongs, that's what we call it, to position myself well and make sure that I am of benefit to the United States. So yeah, basically, if anyone wants to get into this, you have to diligently go through the metrics or the criteria, pick out at least 3, try and fulfill all of them, and make sure that you can prove that you are a person of that can make an impact into the the system.
Wonderful. So you mentioned that you had kind of experience. Person who helped you was Mr. Mohammed Shair, who is an immigration attorney based out of Florida. Well, you had worked with before you came to Next League program, and you have been in contact with other professionals also. And what was your experience with them vis-a-vis Mr. Mohammed Shair?
Sorry, I missed that. Could you repeat that again? Sorry, I missed that.
What was your experience with Mr. Mohammed Shair as compared to your other
okay, so
by the Next League?
Yeah. With Mr. Mohammed Shair, I found it easy to work with him because he had a full grasp of everything I wanted. He was able to articulate my thoughts in a using the legal language, and also making sure that everything was well articulated and presented to in a more structured manner, so that my case will be more presentable. Actually, the issue I had was my petition was not well presented when it went to USCIS. But when Mr. Mohammed Shair looked at it, he was able to understand have a full grasp of it, gave me a plan, and went through a process. We went through a process, and he used the EB1A parameters to develop my my petition.
Wonderful. Now, on a day-to-day working, how would you kind of, if you have to describe experience, let's say on a day-to-day working with Mohammed Shair in one word, what would that be?
I would say professional.
Wonderful. And what has been your experience working with the Next League program in terms of the challenges and difficulty, and in terms of the intensity of the program that you see?
Well, what has been my challenge? I think I would have to say, I know you warned me from the start that this will mean it will be intense, and it was really intense. We always had meetings, and I think over time, because I actually joined in May, but I'm still here. Over time, there were improvements. We actually started with watching the video out. Sorry, I'm taking us through a journey because we started with watching a video about 3 important things in life where we had to write out our goals. Then we went into developing our expertise. I thought that was very intense. And I think it was after my RFE that I could understand why that came up. And then meeting other EB1A candidates who had gotten their green cards and the processes they made. I think every one of them was a knowledge base for me. It was impactful, and I would say with all the materials I've gotten, with all the guidance from you, it's been a very good journey.
Wonderful. And what would be your message to other professionals who are wanting to apply for a green card either through EB1A or NIW? What's your message to them?
I would say that this is not an easy process. You need to take it step by step. Ensure that you meet all the criteria, at least 3 of the 10 criteria. Make sure you show your impact within the states. Ensure that you show your genuine intent to contribute to the US in the most effective manner. And I think with my interaction with my attorney, that's Mohammed Shair, I think it's best done in a legal manner because it's usually more well articulated and more well presented. So I think please go through the process. It's not something you can get at the snap of your fingers. Ensure that you meet the 3 criteria of the EB1A. Ensure you look into other visa types like the O1, the NIW, because those are also visa types that the US also look into as ways of giving benefits to the United States. So show genuine intent and try and ensure that you show the impact of whatever service, whatever your expertise is to in your petition.
Wonderful. So what I'm hearing from now, just to summarize in a quick way, is there are 3 elements or 3 regulations about the green card here that are coming into play: the O1, the NIW, and the EB1.
Yeah.
What you're saying is that one has to follow, based on one's personal circumstances, one use the combination of all the 3 put together in a most efficient manner. Put it in a legal document or in a more efficient manner that would articulate your facts and your case before the USCIS to make your case more persuasive or more diligent.
Yes, you're right. You're spot on.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, one last question to you, Fola. Now, you came to us and we have tried to help you in best possible way. You also got an RFE and fortunately, I think Mohammed Shair helped you in a best possible way. He went good, and we are very, happy for you. Now, just as a thought process from your own personal journey perspective, if you had not joined the Next League program, or let's say, how would you see yourself otherwise?
Oh my goodness! I'll have to say joining the Next League program was the best decision I made. I wasn't sure what I was doing when I joined, if I was making the right decision, but today I can say fully, confidently that it was the right position. I'll have to say this, and I know you had been with me on some of the journey, especially after the RFE. You spoke with the initial lawyer you attended, yes, briefly spoke with the initial lawyer that filed for me, and we were able to get some things from her that she wasn't someone I should continue working with. Aside from that, I met another lawyer, and at the end of the day, I found out I couldn't work with her. So with you introducing me to Mohammed, even when I had said I was going to work on it myself, at some point, it was a big relief for me. And I, without hesitation, when I saw Mohammed's response to my RFE, I appreciated your help. I appreciated your gesture. So it was a wonderful decision for me to be a part of the next league.
No, wonderful. I mean, our philosophy, Fola, that we want to be really commit ourselves as a truly a friend, guide, and philosopher to everybody who trusts us. And I think it was your trust and your faith also, and your hard work and sincerity that has paid off as a reward to yourself, actually. So congratulations on your journey, and wish you all the best, and we are very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So congratulations, Mohammed, for having a successful case from the Next Week program.
Oh no, I'm actually happy to have a client as good as Fola coming through your program. It was actually wonderful.
Absolutely. Now, Fola did express her, opinion, her views on how she looked at it and how wonderful experience she had with you. And this is going to encourage a lot of people to look at you. So, as compared to your other regular clients, Mohammed, how would you look at Fola and her case when you wanted to, file the petition?
Yeah, so I would first say that I'm flattered about the praise, and I would first say that a lot of it should go to you for the Next League program, because two things I really look for in a client is first that they are prepared, and that is something that your Next League program definitely does. It prepares an individual to fulfill the criteria that's required to achieve the EB1A or the National Interest Waiver criterias. And the second thing is cooperation with the attorney. So there are some times where you have clients that want to just do whatever they'd like, and that's not what I faced with Fola. She definitely was someone that was cooperative, understood that what the process was when I was telling her, and she was definitely informed. And so that helped a lot when we were answering the request for evidence and ensuring that her application and her petition was going to get an approval.
Wonderful. What are the specific aspects that you had to look after, knowing the very fact that she had received an RFE also before? She had, based on the petition that she had filed before she joined our program, and she had almost given up on, based on the RFE. But how did you manage to, if I may use the word, revive the case and present her thought process, her mission, vision, and help her fulfill her American dream?
Yeah, so one of the first important steps was first getting to know Fola and her background. So I like to actually know what my client is doing and the field that they're in. So when I'm writing my brief and when I'm preparing evidence, I understand the field, and I'm making sure that I bring out the important aspects of their petition, right? So with the National Interest Waiver, there are certain criteria that are required. National benefit, they're bringing national benefit to the United States, they're well positioned, and the endeavor is something that has substantial merit and national importance. So what I was able to do with Ms. Fola was through the program, she was first able to articulate her ability as someone of exceptional or extraordinary ability. She was able to articulate it. And when we went through the evidence that she had previously provided, we were able to use that to our advantage when we were responding to the RFE. And then I knew what I needed to do to make sure the petition got stronger to try to get approval. So one of the things that I think is very important is third-party experts. So yes, getting a recommendation letter from a colleague, a recommendation letter from someone higher level in your field or higher in your department is very important. But one of the things that can really emphasize your impact on the United States is getting this third-party expert. And that's something that I found that was lacking in her initial submission that I knew that needed to be added.
So what you're saying is that whether we look at NIW or EB1A, the third-party expertise and kind of an endorsement plays a very major role. Now, what are we trying to prove by using third-party expert recommendation?
So it's to emphasize your impact in the field. Okay, so it's first to emphasize your impact in the field, and that's recognized by people other than the people that you have worked with. So it's about recognition by peers, but not necessarily peers that you have worked with. And so this is something that's, you know, I think necessary in both petitions, that someone you don't know personally can look at your background, can look at your resume, can look at your accomplishments and be like, yes, they are someone of extraordinary ability. Yes, they are a person of exceptional ability. And that really, in the eyes of USCIS, has a lot of weight.
Okay, because these, especially what I'm hearing from you, Mohammed, is the NIW and the EB1A are the only two essentially employment-based petitions which one can file in their own accord without the help of any employer or without any job or without.
Yes. So when it comes to employment-based immigration, you know, EB1, EB2, EB3, regarding all three categories, all three levels, they usually require, you know, the perm process. You know, you got to get a prevailing wage, then you have to do the hiring process through an employer. But the great thing about the EB1A and the EB2 National Interest Waiver is that there's no employer sponsorship or required. So you can do it on your own accord. That's why the standards are a little higher. That's why it's so difficult to get an EB1A. That's why it's difficult to get a national interest waiver, and they have additional requirements. That's why when you file a national interest waiver, they include the 3 additional criteria that an individual has to get. You know, a proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance. That beneficiary, the person who's filing the petition, is well positioned to advance their endeavor, and that there's a substantial impact on the United States and it's beneficial to the United States, where they can waive the job offer process. These things are a higher standard or higher level because you are filing on your own accord.
Okay, so the last question, Mohammed, that in terms of you know, Fola being the next league program, and you have seen the elements of the next league program, you see our approach at the end when we speak about preparing yourself for the petition, it has always been an approach or thinking that in addition to fulfilling you know, the 3/10 criteria which are statutorily mandated, you know, approaching the totality and, you know, seeking or projecting a benefit of your expertise to the US. I mean, if we are using EB1A as an approach to get a green card, then as far as the benefit to the US is concerned, one, if possible, and as much as possible, rather, I would say, use the NIW approach, because even if you're applying for EB1A, but say that your benefit and your expertise is going to kind of be beneficial to US in a peculiar manner, and use the elements of the NIW into the EB1A. Or alternatively, if you are applying for NIW, you know, positioning yourself as really a truly extraordinary and then approaching NIW. Now, what benefit do you see in this as compared to just, you know, trying to say that I am so and so, I'm a, you know, this is my, I'm maybe super ordinary, extraordinary, and without highlighting the benefit to the US in this particular manner that we try to teach in the next week program.
So what is important to realize about these employment-based immigration things, the EB1A and the National Interest Waiver, and it's not only just a petition that you're filing, you actually have to acknowledge what's going on within yourself and your professional career, that you are able to express and show that you are of extraordinary ability or exceptional ability. So this is something that I have seen in the, you know, your clients, your students. They are being coached, they are being prepared to first understand themselves and their professional career, and then second, how to express that to USCIS to get their goal of an EB1A National Interest Waiver. So that's something that your next league coaching process has definitely done. And the interchanging of the two types of petitions. So if you're using the National Interest Waiver criterias, the second prong where you're supposed to express these three things, in using that for the EB1A, I think it's important because they are similar in terms of what the intent of the law is. So when Congress was passing these employment-based immigration laws, they're trying to get people to the United States who are going to benefit the United States. So their intent is very important. And so using the standards that are expressed in the National Interest Waiver and keeping those in mind when you're filing at EB1A is definitely going to help your EB1A petition, and vice versa. So when you're filing EB1A petition, a National Interest Waiver, and using the EB1A understanding of I'm a person of extraordinary ability, I have to get these three criteria, but it's also a cumulative and full understanding of the petition, then totality of the circumstances. It's a totality of your petition, and then using that with the National Interest Waiver allows you as an individual to not just pinpoint little things, but you got to accomplish these things, but also you got to think about the whole package.
Absolutely. So it's like this, what I'm hearing from you is that if we were to follow the approach what we discussed, that is to use totality and the EB1A, the philosophy of EB1A in NIW or the philosophy of NIW in EB1A, you are actually elevating yourself a step up actually, and looking at the genesis of the whole, how and why the law was created, and become the kind of person what actually the US Congress has been seeking, based on which they formulated it.
Exactly, because they're looking for specific types of individuals, and they're describing them through the law in terms of, we want these types of people to come into the United States, and you want to be that type of person, right? And
so fundamentally, whether it is NIW or whether it is EB1A, it is just the semantics. So we have to become the person what is being sought by the United States. And then it's a matter of presentation, whether you choose EB1A route or whether you choose the NIW route. It's based on your convenience and suitability then in that case. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. So you got to look at your professional career and see which one applies to you best. Absolutely. And then go with that selection and move forward.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Mohammed. I'm sure there are a lot of other people from the Next League program who will get benefited by your support and services. So
I'll look forward to working with them and it's been great working with you, and I really I can't overstate what your coaching program does for individuals who want to get this, because you just filling out an application and hoping for the best is different than preparing yourself to do something great.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mohammed, and thank you, and have a wonderful day.